Yeah, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. Today I'm going to take a look at a new bit set that I've purchased from Gedore. I'll take a little look at it and then I'll compare it to my existing bit set, which is from Teng tools. This is the kit. It comes in its blister package. See the part number there is the R49005023 and it is a 23-piece set. Plastic case. You can see the lid is this smoked kind of plastic, so you can see through it and see all the bits and pieces inside. I said 100% plastic. You do have a belt clip on the back here as well, and this does rotate. Locks at every 90-degree position, so you can have it in whatever position you like. And this case I can't open single-handedly, so with my Teng tools you'll see I can open that with one hand. This I just can't do that with. I have to hold the base and flip it up, and then it opens up. Hinges on this are also plastic by the look of it, a couple of little plastic pins at each end. So maybe a weak point that may break in the future, I just don't know. Having said that, the bits do hold in quite nicely. And if you really, so even if you drop that with the case open, the bits will likely stay in there. So that is a nice feature there. In terms of what's on offer in the kit, obviously we have the ratchet down here, and there is an extension bit underneath. Socket wise, we have a 6, a 7, an 8, a 10, 11, a 12 and a 13. And then bit set wise we have 5 Torx here, T15 through to T30. We have a Posi 1 and a Posi 2. Up here we have a Phillips 1 and a Phillips 2. And then we have 4, 5, 6 hex heads or Allen keys, whatever you prefer, single slotted 5.5, and then the adapter bit for the actual sockets themselves. So obviously that just clips in to use one of the sockets, and you get the ratchet out itself. I found this a little bit awkward. There isn't much room for your fingers around there to get this out, so I just did it then. What I do tend to do when I struggle is just get the slotted bit and just prise it out with that, and then it comes out easy enough. But I have struggled with that. Could do with a bit more room around the case to get your finger in to hoik it out, for me anyway. Standard little bit ratchet, you see there, it's got its own part number, so I presume you can purchase this should you desire to do so as a spare. The spanner bit on the end is all straight, and then you have the bend here. I don't know what that is, 20 odd degrees I guess, bend up to the head for the actual ratchet there. Direction can be changed with a little flip switch here, and you have a little knurled part on top, so if you want to you can turn the bit with your fingers. Ratchet is 6 degrees of movement in it, so fairly fine, quite good for confined spaces, which is generally what you use these kits for. The bits themselves, I don't believe it's magnetic. No, this bit isn't magnetic, they just clip in place, but they are standard quarter drive bits. So to say, any of those bits will clip into there, as will the adapter and the socket, and then you've got yourself a wee little mini wrench. So it's that bit out as well, and then the final bit underneath here we have is the actual bit holder and extension bit. This just clips in to the head here, and then any of the bits will hold in there, and this is magnetic, but it is dual magnetic. It's quite an intriguing little part of this. I think it's fairly unique to Gedore. I've not seen one that operates in this manner before. And if I push it in there, you can see this is magnetically held in now. It's going to come out, but I can take it out manually myself. If you watch closely, if I push on that a little bit more, you see it goes in further and stays locked in. And now you cannot get it out. Absolutely solid. To get it out now, you have the little red collar here that you pull back on. It springs out and goes to its magnetic hold position, and then I can take it out. Yeah, really quite sweet. I've not seen that on anything else whatsoever. But it's quite an interesting little mechanism. Very simple, I guess, but quite nice in use. So that's that. That's the bit set that I have. As I say, it's from Gedore. It's their red range, so a little bit cheaper. I won't put him back in there actually because he's a pain to get out, so we'll leave him just there. So this is the existing bit set I have. I said it's from Teng Tools. It's what I carry in my tool bag every day. It doesn't get a massive amount of use, but when you need it, it is really, really good at what it does and gets you out of trouble no end. In comparison to Gedore, it's obviously German. This Teng Tools are Swedish. However, both these sets are made in Taiwan. This one is actually marked up as made in Taiwan. This one isn't marked, but the Teng Tools website says their manufacturing base is in Taiwan, so I'm assuming it is made in Taiwan. The kit itself must be over 10 years old now. I've had this, and this is how it comes to you. Teng are not renowned for their packaging. Sometimes you get little cardboard sleeves around them, but not on this occasion. This is just how it arrived. The kit itself is the BBX20. However, this is no longer manufactured. It's now manufactured as the T1420 set. I believe it's pretty much exactly the same set, but the case has been refined. So if we do compare the cases themselves, this one is slightly bigger. It's about the same length, but width-wise, you can see there's a bit more to this case, and height-wise, especially with the belt clip in there, you can see this is a slightly larger case, but there's not that much in it really. However, as I said, I could open that with one hand. This one I actually can, and you just flip them up like that, and you can open them up and get to all the bits. Now, that does give you the first little issue with this, in that this is a plastic seam hinge. And just pressed into plastic, you can see, if I can hold it up close, you might be able to see at the end here, it is actually starting to crack. So I'm assuming that this probably won't last an awful lot longer, but it has lasted quite well. Quite impressed really, because I was expecting to break quite quickly. The other difference between this, obviously you see me hang that upside down, nothing came out. With this one, everything's all loose in there, and yeah, that happens. So if you drop this or knock it over, you're scrabbling around getting the bits up. So in terms of what's in the kit, this is a 20-piece kit. It is priced in the UK at around about the same, around about £64. However, like the Gedore Red, you can pick this up cheaper, but not as cheaply. I usually see this at around about £38, £39, £40. I've not seen it as cheap as the Gedore unit there. In terms of what you get in the sockets, now that I've managed to muddle them all up, this set is more metric. It suits me a little bit better than the Gedore unit does. We're not doing very well at this, are we? So this set to me seems a little bit more friendly with the bits. They suit me better. It's a lot more metric friendly, this one. 5.5 there that isn't included in the Gedore does your M3, and then you've got your 7mm, M4, 8mm, which is M5, and then at this end your M6 and your M8 finally for your 13mm, which obviously these do have, but you have the extra ones thrown in there. You don't. You have the 12mm, which isn't an awful lot of use to me. You have the 11mm, which you don't have in here, which is 7/16 equivalent, but you have the 9mm in this that you don't have in this one, which I believe, well, that will be 5/16 9mm. So yeah, this just arrangement of bits just does suit me a little bit better for the work that I do, as do the actual bits themselves. You've got the adapter bit here for sockets, and then you've got, as with Gedore, you've got Phillips 1, Phillips 2, Posi 1, Posi 2. In this set you've actually got 3 slotted bits and 3 Torx bits, so not as many Torx bits. Doesn't have any Allen key bits or hex bits at all, but it does have 3 more slotted screwdrivers, so depends on what your needs are really for the work that you do. Sockets in there obviously, and then you move on to the ratchet itself. As with the Gedore set, you have an extension bit itself, but that is purely magnetic. It doesn't have any of the fancy locking that the Gedore has. So standard quarter bit drive again, so they will work with anything, they will work with each other. The hex bits slotted out, if you can see they fit in there, and the bits from this fit into the Gedore. So ratchet wise they are pretty similar, pretty much the same in length, you can see there, and this does have a knurled head as well, and direction change is exactly the same as the Gedore does, a bit more worn this one. So I have noticed as this is worn, it is quite easy if you're using it as a ratchet bit. You can sometimes knock the direction bit. I've just done it straight away there. Don't do it the other way, but you can. I've done it again. So I think it's just because it's got worn now. But you can also have the knurl bit here, and you do spin if you want to. The ratchet itself, the profile is slightly different, whereas this is straight to the spanner bit. You can see you've got the bend here and in the ratchet drive bit as well, so the profiles are very slightly different. And this spanner bit on the end is a standard 8mm, whereas on the end here it takes the quarter bit drives, so you can turn your bit with that should you want to, whereas with this one it'll just spin. And that's it. I did say slight difference between this and the case. Obviously this doesn't have a belt clip on it, however with the new ones they do one with a belt clip on it, which is the TJ 1420 as opposed to just the T 1420. And also with this one you can buy spares, so on the Teng International website you can buy a spare case for this, and it says the new case comes with a metal hinge pin, so I presume it's a bit more robust than this one, although as I said I've had this 10 years plus and I've not broken it yet. However, I've not seen the case for sale anywhere on the Teng UK website. It's not even listed, and it's on the Teng International website, although it's listed, there is no price for it, so I'm not sure whether you can get hold of that or not. Maybe a special order, but by the looks of it you could replace it if you wanted to. So yeah, just depends on your needs I guess for which one you prefer. I said I've had this quite a while, it's lasted quite well, has served me well. The size of the sockets in there and the bits with the extra slotted bits does happen to suit me a little bit better, but this is perhaps a little bit more robust with its build. The ratchet is a little bit chunkier. You've got the clever little locking mechanism and the extension bit, and if these sockets don't suit you, you can obviously change them around to suit. I can take the 5.5 out of here and lock it in place, because the actual locking of this is actually on the square drive and not on the outside, so any other manufacturer's socket will lock into place easy enough, whereas dual fit, as you can see, obviously that's a bit taller than the ones I've got with the Teng kit there, which is quite interesting. That means it's not quite as oh, I never noticed that. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference in height of the sockets into it, which means this would be a little bit more easier to get into tight spaces. Same with the 13mm. I don't know, it's just over 1/8 of an inch there, 3mm. slight difference. Yeah. So it just depends on what you what your exact needs are, I guess, doesn't it? Bits are exactly the same. No difference in them. As I say, I think that is a standard that all the manufacturers adhere to for the different size ones. But okay, so there you go. Gedore bit set versus Teng Tools bit set. As I say, Sweden against Germany, but both made in Taiwan. I think I still have a little bit of a preference for this one for my work, but that's quite nice. Seems to be a good quality kit, and I'll see how I get on with it over the next few weeks. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you again in the next one.